Welcome back, everyone, to the Forex Beginners Trading course. Now, for those of you guys who have not watched the previous lessons, definitely go back and watch them from the start or whatever lessons you feel comfortable starting at. If you guys don't know, we are following the curriculum of the babypips.com trading curriculum. So if you guys do want to go and check out a text version of any of these lessons, we are leaving those links down in the description below. They're free to see. The whole website is free. So if you guys want to check out the text lessons or just kind of review what we go over in each lesson, I would definitely recommend doing so. So what we're going to be discussing in this video is the best days of the week to trade Forex. So some of the previous lessons, we discussed the sessions, and then we covered the best times of the day to trade Forex. In this video, we want to diagnose which days of the week you want to be at the screen if you are a day trader. So that's a big if. We're going to get to that later on to find out which kind of trader you want to be or are. But you guys don't need to take this as serious if you are going to be a swing or position trader. But don't worry about all that right now. Just focus on the content we discuss in this lesson, and we'll get to some of that stuff a little later on. So starting off, what is the best day to trade? So as we have previously discussed, the London session is the busiest out of all of the other sessions, but there are also certain days in the week where there are more moves made in the market. So the majority of the action takes place in the middle of the week, as we're going to see in a moment. We're going to look at a chart, but it dies down around 12 p.m. EST on Fridays until it closes at 5 p.m. EST. So the busiest times to trade are normally the best, since there's high volatility, which presents various opportunities relating to profit potential. Okay, so it's kind of a no-brainer when everybody's in the markets trading. Things can get very volatile, especially with things like news events, economic data, anything like that. Those busy times are usually when those things are released. So here we are with a chart for you guys. This basically shows by the day the average pip movements you'll see per pair in an entire day. So as you can see, something that's been coming up a lot, GBP JPY is by far the most profit potential related pair that we've seen so far in all of these charts, right? It moves the most per day, and it moves the most per session as well, for the most part. So you guys can go through this, pause it if you want, take some notes, take away whatever you want to take away from this. But just keep in mind, we're going to focus on what pairs you're going to be trading and building that into your strategy a lot later on. So we will revert back to some of these charts. But if you guys see something that you want to write down, or see something that may be important for you later on, or you kind of have an idea of what pairs you kind of want to focus on already, then go ahead and write them down. Write down any data you need to. But if not, then we'll move on to managing your time wisely. So this is very important. In order to preserve your energy and be focused when you trade, it's imperative to learn how to manage your time. So you guys can't just stay up all 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, and trade every single second that the market's open. First off, that's just not going to happen. And second off, you wouldn't want that to happen. You're going to be exhausted, probably fall asleep at the screen, and you're not going to be getting in good trades, quality trades, and quality setups, because you don't have the focus and energy to sit down and go through your plan step by step and execute as well as you can. So we want to focus on executing as well as you can and executing your plan, right? So if you don't have the focus or don't have the energy to do so, that's a huge problem. And that's why you need to learn how to manage your time wisely and kind of pick and choose when it comes to sessions you want to trade and days you want to trade. So knowing the best times to trade is vital to your success as a trader. However, knowing the best times not to trade will save you from self-sabotage in your account. So as I just spoke about a little bit, you don't want to be trading constantly, and you need to know when to step away from the computer and when not to trade, because over trading is a very real thing that a lot of traders make the mistake of doing and end up either blowing their account or losing a good amount of money before they realize that they need to change their ways. So The best time to trade. So when two sessions are overlapping, which provide the potential of major news events that will normally provide some volatility and directional moves. And I just want to make it a point. Major news events are not something that happen that frequent to the point where you're always trading a news event. So you'll really just see in general, there's just everybody's sitting down during these sessions, during these overlaps, and that's when everybody's trading. So there's going to be volatility no matter what normally during these sessions and during these overlaps, regardless of news events. News events are just kind of a thing that if you understand how the fundamental economics work of the event and you plan ahead and you know which way to go when that event comes out, that's when you can take advantage of that event. But you also have to be aware that this can also work vice versa, which we'll talk about in a moment. News events can actually be the worst times to trade sometimes. So moving on, the London session, as we've discussed, tends to be the busiest out of the three. The middle of the week typically shows the most movement as the pip range widens for most of the majors. So the worst times to trade, when should you step away from your computer? So as I mentioned earlier, if you don't have the time to trade during the optimal times, you can always be a swing or position trader. Now definitely keep that in mind because me personally, I am mainly a swing and position trader. There are times in the year that I will kind of go more towards a day trading strategy depending on what's going on in the markets and the global economy. But for the most part, I've moved away from that and kind of focus more so on swing and position trading. But I do know that getting started, it's very advantageous to practice as a day trader or go in with a live account as a day trader because you get more at bats, which equals more practice, which of course in turn equals more experience. So worst times to trade, Sundays. I don't necessarily completely agree with this one because a lot of times when I am more so using a day trading strategy, I will sit down and trade the London session Sunday nights. But you do have to keep in mind sometimes everyone is sleeping or enjoying their weekend still. And sometimes you just won't see the volatility show up, but sometimes you will. So it really just depends on the week. Fridays. So Fridays, mainly the second half of the New York session. Around noontime EST, that's when everybody walks away. So liquidity dies down during the back half of the US session. Holidays, everybody is taking a break for the most part. And then major news events. So you have to be careful because many traders do get caught on the wrong side. And oftentimes, if it's a big enough deal of a news event, you'll see massive moves down, then back up to kind of hit people's stop losses, down again, back up, and then finally down to continue towards the downside for the continuation move. But you really have to be careful with these because if you're not quick enough and you don't know how these have been traded in the past and you don't know what to look for, you can oftentimes get caught on the wrong side and see quite a loss in your account. So you have to be very careful with those. And then lastly, when your personal emotions are not in control, this one is huge that I don't hear a lot of traders talking about always. If you have something going on outside of trading, something in your personal life, whether it's a family member, a girlfriend, or a boyfriend, or anything like that, something not going right, that's when you want to say, I'm going to take the day off, I'm going to take the week off, whatever it may be. You need to step away from the screen and focus on getting through that issue and solving that because personal emotions can make you do some crazy things in trading, triple down on a position, don't have a stop loss, just things that you would never do, thinking in your head that you can beat the market and you're going to almost treat it as a casino. You're going to put all your money on black or something like that. So you have to keep that in mind. Be very aware of your emotions and where you're at in your head. And you need to be willing to step away from the screen when that is clear to you. So that is the last slide for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed going over the best days of the week to trade Forex. Again, if you guys want to pause the video, look at this chart, kind of get whatever information you need from it, go ahead. But besides that, we're going to continue on with the curriculum in the next few lessons. Really excited for those. But hopefully you guys are enjoying this so far, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this lesson. So I will see you guys in the next lesson. And until then, make sure to subscribe so you guys get notified whenever we do upload a new video.